I am writing a paper on poverty for my English class. The first place I look for information is Google. I think it has a lot of sources on there, and a lot of results come up, and I just go through them and choose which one is the best. In my FYE class, we're learning to decipher which ones are, accurate, and which ones are with the accurate enough information. So, I mean, I'm a little about that. Um, I begin the research process basically just by typing in my topic. My topic is poverty, so I might type in different things about poverty, like the poverty level in America, or um, just different stuff about that, because I feel like I'll get more information if I just type in the topic. Um, Sometimes I'll go to Galileo as a library source because I learned about Galileo. Something popped up. Is it good? Oh, okay. I learned about Galileo in 10th grade, right there. Mm, okay, okay. I learned about Galileo 10th grade year. My English teacher taught us how to use it and different things like that. And sometimes I'll go back to that website and type in my topic. Sometimes I think Galileo is like a little too like tedious and confusing sometimes, so I don't always go there. That's not my first choice. When I do have a source that I do want to use, I tend to write it down, like on a piece of paper or something like that, and then later on I'll go back, and when it's time for me to write my work citation, I'll go back to my piece of paper and I'll, work on that, and then that's how I keep up with my sources. Um, I'm getting better on properly citing them because sometimes I'll just, put in the what is it called? The web link instead of properly citing it. But when I have like a book or something like that, I know how to cite it from there. But I'm working on citing websites and different articles from the websites so I can be doing it correctly and not plagiarizing anything or anything like that. Um, the way I choose my links are if if they have a lot of information, or I see like copyright things at the bottom. What research? Oh, for poverty. Okay. 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 Hmm. I'll type in my topic in Google or something, and I'll choose a link. And if feel like it's not, going to help me in any kind of way, I'll exit out and try the other ones. Um, hmm. If I type in, my topic is poverty, so if I type in poverty and I don't get the results that I'm looking for, or enough information, I'll go in again and I'll type something like poverty in America, or solutions on poverty, something like that, so I can get more information for my paper and just use different things to write about. When I pick a link and I look through it and I like the information, sometimes I'll either write it down, or if I'm like right there on the paper, I'll copy it and then paste it in my paper and then cite it in my paper. and try to, just explain more about my topic, you know, about the quote that I used. Mm, if I can't really find information online, which is really rare because I do find information online, but if sometimes the teacher says, oh, you have to have like a book source or something like that, of course I'll go to the library and ask the librarian because I'm a little, sketchy on finding books in the library. So I'll ask the librarian, to help me. I'll tell them my topic and then like she'll pull different books out that'll help. And then I'll just look through the book and, decide what I want to use and stuff like that. Mm, yeah, that's about it. I typed in solutions to poverty and I found an article on what President Obama said about the top 5 solutions to cut poverty. And I'm just reading that now to see if I want to use that later on for my paper. Um, I mean, everything looks good. I'll just have to. Um, if I don't really know how to cite something, I'll use Al Purdue and I'll type in, the information that I collected from the article and I'll put that in there and then it'll help me, cite it for my paper. And the link looks, official and all that, so I'll probably use it in my paper. So, hmm, like I said, I'll write down the source and I'll keep it and I'll come back to it later when I'm ready to like write down all my sources and things like that. And mm, if sometimes when I'm writing my papers and I want to stop and take a break or something like that, of course I'll save what I already wrote, but the information that I collect from the sources that I use, sometimes I'll just write them down in my notebook and then I'll decipher them out later and see which ones I want to pick or see which one I use. Write down a lo- I usually write down a lot and just decipher which ones I really think would like help my paper out a lot more. Because I'm not really a confident writer, so I feel like my quotes and the stuff, the sources that I put into my paper have to be like really good so I can explain them. So it'll help me out more. Um, I try not to wait till the last minute to do my papers, but that doesn't always help. It doesn't always happen that way. Um, what do I say now? Okay.
I'm writing a paper on 401ks for a class in financial stability in college and beyond. The first place I look for information is Georgia Southern's library website. I begin the research by typing in 401ks or 401k in the search engine that's on the website because that's what first shows up. Then I go to the left side of the page and limit the results to full text and scholarly peer reviewed journals because I feel like those are accurate and reliable sources. I'm looking for an article still. I'm going to choose the link that'll take me to the article saying traditional 401ks versus the new Roth 401ks because the title looks like something I can understand. I'd first read the abstract just to make sure that it's going to be somewhere or something about what I want to know. If it's going to give me information on the actual 401k and how it compares to other or new versions. I'm going to save this source because the abstract says that it's going to abstract shows that it's going to talk about the Roth 401k and how it is different from the traditional 401k and talk about the retirement plan and financial factors influencing the decision of which one a person would take. I keep up with the information I locate by printing out the article. I'm going to change my search by checking off of the scholarly peer-reviewed journals because I couldn't find, or weren't many links that I wanted to click on the other one. And I feel like it would give me more of a summary or more opinion based if I took it off of the peer reviewed journals. I didn't change my search terms, and I'm scrolling looking for an article or link to choose. I'm going to choose the second article, 401k free escape artists, because the information prior to clicking on the link says that it presents information and advice on the 401k retirement plans. I'm not going to save this source because it doesn't give me an overview of the 401k. It's more for people who actually have one and know what they're doing. It doesn't explain anything really. I'm going to change my search terms to 401k and retirement because I feel like maybe that will decrease my results, which it did. I'm going to choose another link saying retirement account options when beginning a career because the description says first starts off with when college graduates begin their careers. And since I'm in college, I feel like maybe it will be useful for me and for my research. I'll start off reading the abstract on the PDF full text. So once again, I can get another good idea about what the article will be about. And I will save this source because it claims to um, explain 401ks and all of the alternatives to retirement plans. And I'll print it out once again and just keep it with all of my other sources. I normally stay on the library's website unless I can't find any articles, but obviously the results are showing that there is a lot of information on the 401k, and normally I just find enough outside sources to meet the requirements of the paper, or when I feel like I have enough information. So I'm continuing to scroll and look for more articles that will, or links that seem useful. There's a link that's called In Praise of 401ks, and it is more for the positive aspects of the 401k retirement account, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to keep this source because one, it explains what a 401k is, tells you if you want one or not, what you should do if you do have one, and other alternatives. And at the end, it also mm, shows that the author shows what the author does and why he is someone you can trust. So then I go back and continue to look for more articles. I haven't changed my search terms because I think that these results are better than the ones before. I'm going to change the publication date though, because it's in the range from 1924 to 2015, and I'm sure it's changed since then.
Okay, I'm writing a paper on Ebola for English 1102. Okay, I'm on the Georgia Southern Library website because that's where the search bar is for, I guess, Discover, Galileo, I don't know. Okay, my first search was Ebola because I want some general information on the virus. Okay, I'm scrolling through the articles trying to find one to click on. Um, okay, I'm gonna come back here later. Okay, now I'm searching Ebola on the CDC website to get some factual information. I chose the CDC because it is, I feel, the most reliable source for um, diseases that are contagious. Okay, I'm looking at the signs and symptoms page. Just because probably in the beginning of my paper I'd want to talk about what Ebola is and symptoms before I get into talking about the recent outbreak. Okay, now I'm looking at the transmission page just to add some more general information. Okay, and now I'm looking at the history of Ebola outbreaks just to get some background on the virus. Okay, so if I was writing this paper, it would probably be on the recent Ebola outbreak. So I'd give some background on past cases, but I'd also, the main point of the paper would be about just this year, 2014. So now I'm looking at the, what is this? Okay, it's an academic journal article. Just to get, oops. Okay, so this article is showing some ways that the World Health Organization and the CDC tried to contain the outbreak and control it. So that could be another point that I could touch on in my paper. Um, I would trust this article because both authors are doctors, and let's see. Yeah, and just this like 4-page article, they have 10 resources or reference pages that they used, and those look like reliable sources, so this would be a good source to use. And this paper also talks about the actual confirmed cases, but it also adds in probable cases and suspected cases, just because um, not all of the cases are probably reported. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Google and just look up some just regular news articles on it. So I'm clicking on Google, or searched Ebola in Google, and then I clicked on the news tab. And so most of this is about the doctor that is free of Ebola, meaning there's no more cases of Ebola in the United States. Yeah, I would probably use the news articles if I wanted something that was really up to date, like on a week, things that have happened the last week or month. But I know not all of these are always accurate because the news will say one thing and then change it quickly after. Okay, what else do I want to look up? Okay, so now I'm back on Discover, and I'm going to search. Okay, so I'm going to change my option on the left side. I'm going to check off the scholarly and peer-reviewed sources, and I'm going to change the dates to just in the last 4 years, so 2010 to 2014. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to change my search keyword to Ebola treatment, because I want more information on treatment. So I'd probably go into talking about what the disease is, and then talk about the recent issues with Ebola, and then at the end I'd talk about treatment and maybe what we have to look forward to in the future for curing the disease or virus. Well, I guess it's a virus, so you can't cure it. Treating the virus. Okay, so I just clicked on the first article that came up. And okay, this is not what I was looking for, but it's just talking about this article is very scientific and I can't understand it, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, so I just clicked on an article about professional responsibilities for the treatment of patients. And that was another thing that was in the news, talking about the nurse that contracted Ebola, and one of the reasons why she probably got it is because they said that she didn't have any training on how to react to the disease. Um, okay, also, so if I was logged into my account right now, I would click on this folder on the right side. I think that's what it was, or anyway, there's a way to save all the journal articles that you want in your folder, and then when you sign into your student account, it's all right there. So that's what I'd be using to keep track of all the articles that I looked at. Okay, so yeah, this is a short article, and this was just came out in October, so this might be a good one to talk about, um, to use just to talk about how better following better policies at hospitals could prevent the spread. Okay. I don't know how to get to this one. Okay, so I clicked on this article and I don't I can see the abstract, but I don't know how to actually get to what I'm trying to read. So I'm not going to use it, but it looked like a good article. Okay. So I'm still looking. Right now I'm kind of looking for an article that just has a general explanation for different treatments, not so much just some of these look like they're for like experimental treatments and not just what they actually are doing. Yeah, so here's another one on experimental therapies and vaccines. Okay. Okay, I still don't know how to get to these things. Hang on. Okay, so I just clicked on the find it link because these links, I don't know how to get to the actual articles. Okay, so it's not available online. Okay, or I can click on search for resource in Gill and then interlibrary loan delivery. Okay, let's see what my options are. Okay, so now I know and I can't see the article, that means it's not available online. Okay, so this one is okay, so this one's at the library in print, and I can go check out the magazine, it looks like. Okay, and then let's see if the interlibrary loan, I'm supposed to log in, so I can't do that. Okay. Alright, so then here's another, looks like a magazine article, Ebola treatments caught in limbo. And this one is not available online. So let's see if it's at the library. Yes, so it's at the library on the second floor. So I could check that one out. Okay. Mm.
I'm researching international fraud topics in international accounting. I'm starting by opening the Google Chrome Explorer and logging in to my Georgia Southern. I'm opening the Wall Street Journal to find current news topics. I'm going to business and scrolling through the current listings for today. I see one article about private equity buys for $10 billion in cement assets, so I'm opening that article. The article is from London, and it looks like private equity firms are trying to acquire the assets as a part of a merger. So this looks like a topic that I would use. I'm now opening a Word document so I can copy and paste the link to the article. I'm putting a 1 by the website in the Word document so I know that that is my first source. Usually when I write a paper, I just put 1 for the internal citation and I go back at the very end and put more and put the actual reference in there when I do my works cited page. I'm now opening google.com and typing in international accounting fraud topics for 2014. About the 5th hit down, there is an impact of fraud in fluctuating currencies. It looks like there's a lot more information on this topic, so this looks like a better selection. I'm going to copy and paste the website into the Word document and delete the first one. I'm going back to the Google page and typing in foreign currency fraud. And there is a hit from the United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission as the first selection. This article describes how the scams work and what regulators are doing to help combat the scams and the warning signs of fraud. This looks like it would be good for the background of the paper or for an introduction. I'm putting the website in the Word document as number 2. And I'm copying and pasting parts of the article I find interesting into the Word document so I can highlight them and know that they came from source 2. And the highlighting means it came straight from the article. I want to use an example of a foreign currency trading fraud, so I'm going back to Google search and typing in 2014 foreign currency fraud case. And there's a publication from the IRS about examples of general fraud investigations for fiscal year 2014. I'm selecting the irs.gov website because it is from the IRS and it's a reputable website. And there are several cases of foreign currency fraud and tax evasion listed on the page. So I'm searching for foreign currency fraud. I don't see anything right off. I see a lot of tax evasion and money laundering, but nothing specifically related to foreign currency frauds. I'm about halfway through the page and I still haven't found anything. So I'm doing Control F to search for currency. That option is not working on this page, so I'm going back to the Google search. And there is a website from the United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission from August 29th, 2014, where a California resident was charged with currency fraud. The website is cftc.gov. So I'm copying this website into the Word document as source number 3. I'm going back to the web page, and the main paragraph is about halfway down, and it's talking about how much the man currently stole and a little bit of information about that. So I'm copying that paragraph onto the Word document and highlighting it in yellow. I'm going back to the Google search, and I'm searching for foreign currency fraud. International. There's a website from the FBI listing common fraud schemes. I mainly see identity theft and Nigerian fraud schemes. I don't see any information on there, so I'm going back to the Wall Street Journal. And in the search bar, I'm typing in foreign currency fraud and searching that. There's an article from 9/14/14 about flipped bankers aid U.S. in foreign exchange probe. It looks like the article is talking about Bank of America and several other companies committed a fraud. So I'm copying and pasting this website into the Word document to come back to later once I find some more information to decide which direction the paper is going in. I'm going back to the Wall Street Journal and seeing what other recent articles are available. There's an article about the UK competition watchdog joins currency probe. This looks like a good article because it's international and is talking about the UK. And the subheading is investigation focuses on possible rigging of the 5.3 trillion a day market. So this looks like a good website to use. I'm copying and pasting this website into the Word document as source number 5. And I'd like to find another article in an Asian market so that different international aspects can be explored. So in the search bar, I'm typing in foreign currency fraud Asia. and it doesn't look like I have new search results. So I'm going back to the Google search and searching foreign